Yep, okay, send it off. Woo! Hey, Robinson! Thank you for the follow!
Robinson8_4 is curious what's next.
So, what's next? We have a Jackbox stream starting Saturday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight. Hopefully you heard me. If you didn't, that's fine. Hopefully everything's going well with you. I'm going to do some deving for the next 2 hours. Possibly 3, we'll see. And I feel sorry for the audio quality. I have allergies. I've been trying to fight it. We'll see how it goes. But beyond that, thank you for the follow. Okay, so before we get into the application, I'm going to discuss what I did this weekend. Because I didn't do what I should have been doing, which is the development of the application. But I had a quality of life plugin that was doing a couple of things. The big thing was cleaning up the indentation when I paste stuff from like ChatGPT and stuff, which was great. But they had a lot of things it didn't do I wanted, and then I had to modify it anyways. So I got to a point that I was like, I should just make my own. So that was this weekend. I made the Sirlegna Quality of Life GG Script plugin for myself. And I've added a bunch of features already to it. I have a bunch of features I want to add to it. But if anyone watching and does Godot development, it'd be nice to hear if this is something you'd be interested in. If not, that's all fine. To me, this is a big thing. It's this draw automation. But let's get into the app. Okay. So, Jen Smith. This is a application that I have been requested from one of the viewers who did a lot of commissioning in game jams I've done to basically make a random number generator that can take in multiple lists. So let me show you that real quick. So we have the output node. History doesn't work yet, and we're going to get a list, and we're going to say this list is ABC component. We're going to shove it into a buffer. We don't need to, but this locks the generated value to a single generation, so I don't have to worry about multiple different types. Then we want a content generator. And what this is going to do is it's very similar to the list generator, but instead of trying to get the list, it's going to try to get a file in the list. So in this specific case, A, B, C, and so on. And that's what these are listed here. So that is going to get us the file. And then from the file, we can grab the content, which is the generated value here, and throw it into a list generator. So what this did, let me undo that. If you see here, we have unsaved list and it's empty. When I connect this, it disappears. And why it disappears is because it's getting it from the content generator right here. So now when we do the list generation here, it's generating it from the list that the content generator created. And that is coming from this list generator. So with that, let's just values together. So in this case, I want the output of this one and the output of this one. And I want the join character to be a space, that's fine. And then we grab the generated value, put that into the output, and now we can generate. So when I hit generate, it goes, hey, I found the B file, and inside that B file, there was a boat. And you can do that over and over again, like A for air and so on. Let's generate 5 of these real quick. There we go. Let's make the separation character a new line so it's easier to see. So it generated 5 things: A from apple, C from cars, B bread, B banana, A for air. And that is what they asked for. We also have number generators, so let's throw that off there. Say, hey, we want to generate a number. Here's the output. Let's set this up. Let's generate it between 0 and 100. We don't care about decimals. And there we go. Now we got some grades. And you can connect all of these together. That is what I currently have. And it's beautiful. What eventually I need to do, and what this stream hopefully will be, is I want to be able to be like, let's not do this one. Let's do this one. Whoops. Connect these. There you go. I want to be able to say my list gen. Hit the save button. Very similar to how I hit the save button for here. So I save it, it gives me a list, and I can put it where I want it. Hit the save button here, it pops up that, and I'm able to save it as a file. And then, once I save it as a file, I should be able to eventually have it appear in the generator list, hit a plus, and this becomes that generator with the various outputs exposed and all that. We're not there yet. None of these buttons work except the hide and show preview. So that's what I'm hoping to code up today. So let's see what we got to do. So it's going to be part of this. That's this text field. Now, the first question is, who should manage it? And I've been kind of throwing everything in this main file. It's not too big yet, but it is going to get big. As you see, this is bad. That's bad practice. That's a lot of cross dependencies that isn't needed. So we're gonna just keep doing that and call it a day. So I need the list, but before that, I need the button. That is not the button. This is coming from here. There's the button. So this is the save button. And save, I think, is the easiest. If I remember right. Let me open up, not my add-ons. I don't care about them. Nodes. Let's open up the list nodes property file. Because this is the guy who does the saving and stuff before. And we have a bunch of code we can rip from this. Eventually, this should be code that is relatively standalone, but it is what it is. And give me a second, I'm going to just mute myself. that time of the year again. It sucks. But yeah, everything in here does saving capabilities. So in theory, we can grab a lot from this and call it. So let's do some things. In the main, we need to have the save button exposed. I'm gonna rename this just so it's easier for me to manage. Save graph button. Then we're gonna expose it. Save graph button. There we go. So now we don't need to expose it. It doesn't need to be exposed. Who's exposing it? Because it can just go here and go, hey, when this is pressed, call this function. Done. So when that's pressed, it's going to be very similar to the list property, which should have some type of save system. Give me a second. Nothing with them. Okay, on save button press, we get some things. Interesting that we omit the save file name text change. Select button. Okay, we're gonna kind of play around with this because this is kind of weird. I don't recall how this worked. Oh, I recall what this did. Yeah, okay. So if it's less than 2, it means it's unlisted, which means it wasn't saved before. Then, if it eventually has a file name, it's eventually saved. Then it takes the file name that was selected and adjusts it. And for whatever reason, when I do that, I also say, hey, update anyone who's listening. I'm certain somebody's listening. So, back to our main function. When we do this, we need to check if this, that's kind of zoomed in. If this is empty, then we have a new file that is going to be added. If it's not empty, then we need to check to see if we have that file somewhere. Hopefully that works. Yeah. So graph name and back to script land. This is going to be something we need to export. Export vol. Graph name. It's going to be a line edit. There we go. Save that. Now when I click here, I should have a new thing. I can drag that over. Okay, and let's verify that all connects via print graph name dot text. And that should all connect everything nicely. Let's open that up and see if we can get some text. Hello there. Save. Yep, cool. Yeah, if you look at my debugger, there's a lot of extra messages It's because I was debugging the plugin. I should just turn that off. Give me a second. Let's set that to false. There we go. You just need to toggle it on and off. And then change fires real quick. There we go. So now it won't be annoying. Okay. So let's center out some things. First, if graph name dot text is empty, then we need to pass new file is being created. Actually, we don't need to pass. Should you be able to edit the file name there? Or should it just be a label that then I set label? I'm kind of leaning to a label because when you hit save, that's when you should be able to name it. And here it should just say the name of the graph you're adjusting. That seems promising. I kind of like that. Let's change this to label. And by default, it's going to say unsaved gen. And then we just have to check to see if unsaved generation is the name, and we cut that out, or we leave it blank. Oh, I know what we do. Oh, it won't let me do it now. Change it back. We did bad. Line edit. We do here. Unsaved gen generation or generator. I think that fits. It doesn't show up here, but I think it fits in the actual thing. But then we go into one of these fields. Make it editable. Nope, it's not editable. It's just a weird looking field. And it doesn't put the entire message. We can just put gen. Common parent is null. Yeah, I don't know what that means. If we go to main, did it break everything? Yeah, it broke everything. There we go. So it won't say anything here. You can't edit it. But then when you edit it, you'll be able to, or when you save it, you'll be able to save it. That gives me control, but it also prevents it from looking saved or not saved, loaded, existing at that point. So now back to script land. So when that's empty, we pass if or else. Actually, let's do this with the new thing. Else colon, boom, everything's adjusted. So else pass existing file is loaded already. Okay. So now we go to the properties, and that it's kind of like this. So we have a save window. which comes from the property script, which I was considering breaking this off as its own thing. So if we go here, we can't see it, but if I pop this open, that's what it looks like relatively. You're saving this list, so maybe not. Maybe not, but maybe we copy it and change some things. Eventually, no, we don't want to do that. We want to copy and just paste it in here. It needs to be the highest thing so it renders over everything. So that would be what it would appear like. It looks good. But now the description is going to need to be save this graph to the application files, which can be located here. Cool. And then name this graph, which can be there. Oh, that should theoretically still work. So that needs to get carried over. That really shouldn't even be there. That should be part of the save window script. I don't know why that wouldn't be there. So let's extend this. Save window. Why is it in the scene? Oh, because that's where this is. We could do a couple of things. Do we make this its own standalone thing right now? Nah. We're gonna just do. We'll just add it to the script. Yeah, we'll just add it here. It won't be save window. It'll be save window graph. That should be good. Yeah. And then this guy can control the button by itself. So this guy is going to be edited. It's going to go back to itself, connect there. There we go. The list property is going to be very similar to this. Right here. Except save window button. Wait. That doesn't make sense. That shouldn't have been. Wrong button. Dang it. What was that connected to? We'll worry about that later. Let's properly disconnect this. And then delete this. Because that's not what it was. It was this guy that had it. We're going to edit this guy and connect it there. Can't get node path target. I don't get what you're saying. Save everything. Thank you. Okay, if I disconnect this, it's happy. If I connect this, go to here, and then connect it to the save window. Now it's happy. I don't know what was it angry about, but it works now. Cool. So Now we can copy this. And we can put it in here. Dang it. Copy that. Paste it here. Save button isn't defined, but we can define that. How did I grab it from main? Yeah, I like this. It makes it easy for me to know what these exports are. Export bar. Ooh, it's so hot. Give me a second, guys. Just trying to keep myself cool without you guys hearing the fan. Uh, Hopefully that's quiet enough you guys can't hear it. Yeah. Okay. Um. So we want the var. This will be window. I don't like that. We'll do save button. It's gonna be a button. Grab this, put it here. Awesome. And then inside the save button, we just have to add that. Cool. So now the save button can, or the text field can handle that. We haven't gotten there yet, but we have the code. So here, if the text field's empty, that's fine. We just need to make sure the Windows save file is empty. So let's go do that. This will be export bar save window save file. That's not a great title, but we'll fix this as time continues. And this will be the line edit. So let's connect that up with the main. Oopsie. That's gonna be this guy. Boom. So now we get to the bottom of this and we go, hey, if it's empty, actually, we don't care. If it's empty, just grab, whoopsie. Save window, save file. It should be file name. There you go. Is going to equal graph name dot text. It should be dot text. There we go. Because that will clear it out whenever the save button is clicked. Then we had it where we grab that. It says we omitted a change. I don't know why we would have done that. What did this do on change omit? Oh yeah, that was turning on and off the save function. So yeah, we have to omit that too. So save window dot text change dot omit, so that it controls it, nothing else. Let's save that. So this bit of code will come over eventually. Don't need that bit of code. Oh no, this is that bit of code. Cool. So that works there. And then in the list property, we do dot show. So this actually becomes a lot easier. We need to get the save window. Export var save window. Going to be a window. Could make it a restricted window, but we'll keep it open for now. It technically is a restricted window, but there we go. And then we actually don't need this if statement because we either have an empty string or we have a file. So if we do this, whoopsie, it's already displayed. If we go to the main and hide it, now if we hit play, and we hit, what did we get? Assigned property key.text has a value string. Base object type nil. Oh, we never dragged things over. That's why. Yeah. So we want the file saved and we need the window itself. So now, if we hit save, pops up. Awesome. This graph will be saved. Name the graph. Put the graph there. That will be great. So let's go about that process of doing that. So this will get the name. This will toggle this on and off. This cancel, I think, just needs to get remapped, really. Or not. Cool. That works. So it really comes down to what does the save button do. And in here, when you click the save button, you go to this function. It did a bunch of stuff. So we're going to need to grab this function and rewrite it a couple places. One second, guys. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, so yeah. So we can get the user directory. If for whatever reason we don't, we return out and we just cry. We can recursively create the list directory, but the list directory isn't where we're going to be going. So in here, we have this. We need to add a data graphs. And this will be the graph, directory. In theory, this isn't needed, but we're doing it anyways for consistency. So now we create that graph if we don't have it. And then if the file, we need to get the for graph. So we need to do this again, but for the graph. Let's grab a couple of things. And then we'll grab a couple of things here. This becomes that. This becomes graph. And this becomes graph as well. We're doing text for now, but we'll see which format is best. So that's all that. So now when we go back to main, it should be as simple as just graph. No, I actually don't even use the endpoint. I should do that in both places. Here it's going to be graph extension. But then on the list property, it should be file extension or list extension. Vault list extension. Go. What are you yelling at me about? What are you yelling at me about? Oh yeah. So that's the next step. Um, we need to create some content, which that's going to be fun. Save window became this one. And then update, save. We don't need to do, we do need to do that, just not that way. We're going to do update. What did I call it? Graph name line edit. Okay. One quick second. I'm going to use restroom and I'll be right back. Yeah, everything's working. I don't know why. So yeah. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, so yeah. What are you yelling at me? Save name. Not defined. This will be here. There you go. Why are you not? Oh, I did it the other way. There we go. So once we successfully save it, we just need to do this. Graph name dot text equals save window dot text. There you go. Sorry. Okay, now we're back. Ah, why do you not like graph extension? Oh, it's because it should be var dot graph extension. There we go. You most like, oh no, you did it right now. Okay. So now, when we play it, I should be able to hit save and be like, this is my graph. Save. It's not Do, do, do. What does this mean? Error calling signal text change to callable. That's a signal. Oh, I didn't give it anything. That's why. Here's something to do. See if that fixes that up. Now if we hit save and we go my graph, save, they're not working. And I imagine it's because, yeah, this isn't connected to anything. So let's go connect that. One press, pick on Windows, save button, press, yep. Connect. Yay, everything's connected. Now, when we do this, hit save, be like my graph, save, and look at that. My graph is there. Awesome. And when I hit save again, it populates there. I don't know if it did that beforehand. I guess it did. Yeah, it did. We just didn't do anything. Okay. So now let's see if it actually saved. Let's open up user folder data. And let's go to data. Let me pour this over. And let's go to graphs. And look, there's my empty text file. Cool. Let's delete that. Because now the tough part. How do we save a graph? And there's a couple of things I was looking into. I asked ChatGPT last night, like, what would be some of the best practices? See if I can bring that up real quick. I think it was this. Why am I thinking? I can just look up graph theory. There we go. Let's see. How would you save a graph? So what it suggested is create a JSON object, give it all the nodes, all the connections. For every child in the graph, we populate some data, and we pen that. And then for every connection, we connect that. And then on the load, we read out it and create a new graph node. That's going to be problematic because it can't be a new graph node. It has to be the existing nodes. We give it a name, give it a title, give it an offset, and restore the metadata. Then we add the child, and we do it again. Okay. So let's just try and get nodes and try to put the nodes back where they came from. So do we have the graph? I think we do. We have the graph name. We have the graph edit. Cool. So for simplicity right now, let's just do this. Let's comment out this. And for right now, we'll just do graph.get children. And we'll just print that out. Baby steps. Always do baby steps. Make sure you understand what you're doing. So when we hit save, we get a lot more than what I was expecting. We get a connection layer, then we get a panel container, and then we get a graph node. So that's not going to work as clean as ChatGPT says it is going to be. So if I actually go, yeah, so this is what we're getting. We're getting these three things. We don't get this, right? Hey there! Have you considered a memento pattern for undo redo? No, I have not. I will have to add that to the list of features. I actually have not. That's actually a really good one. You caught me on that one. I don't like that you caught me on that one. Oh, I should have known. Let's open up Notion. Let's add that to my list of to-dos. Can't be found. To-do. And then we need toggleless undo / redo for graph. Great. Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, so that gives us a lot of details we don't need. What is this panel container? Of course, it's going to disappear on me. Okay, the panel container was the legend, which we could do. I'm doing okay. Just fighting allergies, really. Talking about that, give me 1 second. I hate allergies. Okay, so the panel container is the legend. And the graph node is this. The connection layer, I think, is the thing that hoards the actual connections. Yeah. So we just need to really skip the panel container. Hey, fool! Dodge the layoffs at Oracle so far. Nice. Yeah, layoffs suck. I've had one so far in my career. Funny story about that one is I was working remote at the time, and I was a college student, and I was also the project lead, or it's project lead at that time for that company. And I realized my team was faster than what I could product lead. So I kind of just gave it to them in trust and just kind of wrote up reports and then did nothing else. And when I got laid off, my manager called me telling me, hey, end of this week is the end of the week. But what I thought that call was, is I thought I was getting laid off. But what actually happened is the entire software department got laid off for that company because it got merged up. And I thought it was just they caught up on me and was like, he's never doing any actual work. Okay, so now if we hit save, we get that. And these are graph nodes. So let's see if we can separate these. Well, hopefully you're doing well. So let's try to write up some bad code. So for child in graph get child or get children. Um, if the child name is connection, sorry, underscore connection. We don't care. We don't care because we're getting connections. I don't know if we care. um, because half of me is thinking if we, dang it, I know that's not a finished line. There we go. Okay, so my half thoughts. We're gonna buffer, we connect these. This will never actually do anything. But if we hit save, we get this connection layer. But if I go into connection layers, we get a line. But a line doesn't have the connection details. So no, we don't want the connections. Because the line is just gonna draw a line, but I need the graph to actually know that line means something. So okay, so we only care if child is header is it part of my tours that I use? No, that's how I get relevant class name. But the tour script is going to have that does it here. So well, script. If script name is empty, get base script. I think it's get base script we want. I don't know why it won't let me right click and click that. Okay, I don't know why it won't let me click that, but we can click this. And we can do get or just get base. So return global returns name, class name. Get base, I think, is what we want. So print or not that if child dot get get script dot get why is it being so mean? Get base script. If that is graph node, then I want you to print. Let's see if that works. So we should only get the output node. Nope. Great. Let's open up. Nope, not the online docs. I guess we could open up the online. That'd be better looking. So we have nodes. Not nodes, node. And I'm curious if there's a way to ask the node who it is. There has to be a way because it prints it out when I print the node. I don't need to get child. Not get path. Uh, it has to be a way to get like the type. Oh wait, we can pass in the type. If type's empty, only ancestors inheriting from type will get it. And we can do is class. So we can actually optimize this. 1 second. Okay. So we can optimize this bit of code. Hey Saints here, how's things going? Things are going well for me. So we can do get children is not what I want. What do I want? Find children. I wonder which one's faster. This method can be slow. Consider storing references to found nodes in a variable. I feel the weight of having a big soundtrack on my shoulder. But other than that, all right, nice. Very nice. Hopefully the first few days of the jam is going well for you. I don't know which one's faster. Because if we do find children, and then we gave it the pattern that, any of these, but then the type should be graph node. Try and pace myself out so I don't burn out. Oh, yeah. So now if we did print child, and we run that, we should get the output node. No. No, that doesn't work. Bad. Okay, we'll do this. Dot is class. And then we give it the graph node. And then we try to print child. Oh, my hair's everywhere. Hey, there we go. So cool. So, Saint, are you going to be here for a second to see the progress? Trying to come up with a theme for the cave area right now. Guessing wet and stony would be the theme I would think I would go for. There you go. Should be around. Okay, let me show you. So we boot it up. And I have the hiding and showing preview buttons working nice. History still needs to get worked on, but let's say your case, you want to have multiple lists. So we grab a list. I've already made an ABC, and it contains ABC. The reason why it contains ABC is it uses those to grab the next list. So I'm going to throw it into a buffer. The only reason I'm throwing it into a buffer is so it locks it for generation. So if I did this, the buffer value and the output value could be two different ones. So we shove it into a buffer and it does it once and then it saves it. Then we go, hey, we need to generate a file from that. We need to generate content. So it goes ABC, chooses one, then passes the A in there. 1 second. So then it has this. This is creating this bit, but based on the file. So if it's A, it will be this. So it does that, and then we need to choose one from there. So we grab another list generator, and we connect that to the list content. And as you see, the content disappears because we grabbed it from this content generator. So now we want to combine this. So we want to do a join, and we want to join part 1 and part 2. I'm just going to move things around. I don't zoom out. I should zoom out. But yeah. So there's that. And then we can go this join to this output. And now when I hit generate, it will say the file name, space. Yeah, default is space. Space, the thing it got from that file. So it grabbed the C file and grabbed computer from that. So that's how you'd have it. Is this would be your plugins. This is a storing. This is a getter. This would be your what is it? Profiles? I think it's profiles is what you said. This is your profiles. Presets. I knew it was something with a presets. And then it takes the plugin and combines it with the preset, adding a space between, and you get this. And you can generate like 4 of these. Let's not do comma, let's do new line. So A for apple, B for boat, C for computer, A for acorn. So hopefully that is what you'd like. Hopefully students coming up, keeping up with the productivity. One step at a time, got to do 15 or so tracks for Spooktober? Yeah, Spooktober. I didn't see the T. Game Jam. 15. Whew. But right now, what we're trying to do is get the save button working, which is me figuring out how to get this data in a format that I can keep. So this is all working nicely. So what do I want about the graph data? I need to create these, which should be relatively easy. I need to serialize the property node. I don't really care about the input and output values. Or actually, no, I do care about the input values at least. I get the gist of the generator. I'm going to need to play around with it for a bit to fully understand it, though. Learning best by doing. Oh, yeah. So, I need to know what this is. Can I do get relevant class name? Diron. Print that. Will that get me the relevant class name? Let's create a list, a content, and a buffer. That's kind of weird that the label goes that way, but that's fine. Let's save that. See what we got. We got output graph node, yep. And we got base. I don't want base. I want the actual node. Okay, off to Dockland. Woo, Dockland! I need to get the name or get the node object. How do I create a node? See, it says graph node dot new. What if I have different graph nodes such as list graph node and buffer graph node? What if I have that? Yep, okay. Do. Get saved data. Get saved data returns the type as the data. So I can make it where the nodes tell me what they are. Don't like that. It is nice, though. It would be nice because then the node serializes itself. And then the graph doesn't need to know how to serialize it. The node can also load itself, sort of. So maybe that's what we do. So if we go into the list. Right now, the list literally only knows how to do that. The list needs a class name. All these are going to need class names. Because I think that's how I need to do it. Okay, let's try that. Class name, list, graph, generator, node. No, not clown syrup. You want this to be done. You need to know how to organize it later. Okay, so that's that. So now if I go to main, that should get me the list name. If I drop that in, hit save. Hey, list graph node. Nice. So that's why it didn't know what it was, is it didn't have a class name. So I could use at tool to do that. And then how do you load it though? Save, load, there you go. Okay. For every we clear all the tutor. For the node data node, we do scene node registry. What's a node registry? I don't think that's a real thing. Oh, it's not it. It's this. That's disgusting. Of course, I kind of have that already because I have graph nodes which have this stuff in it. So I guess I just need that really. Is the graph node needs to know or the graph node, the list needs to know about this, but it doesn't really because it has no need to this. How do I create a node dynamically? Because I should be able to do something like this. List graph node dot new. But I need to do that with a string. How do I do this, but with a string instead of hard coding? DB instance class name class string. That's how we're going to do it. Okay. So I need to ensure that every list has a class name, which I feel like that's going to be part of the base graph node. So this is about to become a tool. Actually, we'll do the new way of doing this. Watch this. So there's a function called get warnings, okay? And right now we're just return back string array new. Dang it. We're just returning an empty array. So now if I save this, you see there's no tour here, but if I go back, it automatically adds it for me. Yay! Because this can only execute if there's a tool. So I need to know what this specific class name is. How do I get the class name from the file itself? Not extended class name, but this self dot class name. It might literally be self dot class name. Get global name. Yep, that makes sense. So now, do I have any of my good ways of doing this already written in this project? That's not how I do that. Find. That's my add-on. Yeah, this is my good way of doing it. The reason why I like this is for two reasons. One, it allows me to easily add new conditions. So I can just go in here and be like, if user equals 4, then warnings append not Sirlegna. And I can just easily do that, and it will always give me all the warnings out. The other thing I like about it is you can super this. So you can do super, and what super does is it calls the parent object and gets the value. But in this case, there is no value defined, so I don't have to worry about it. But okay, so if, or is it get, not get class. What the hell was that? Get global. Why do you not like get global? We literally just looked this up. Why are you saying that's wrong? It's not part of the node. What is it? It's part of the object, right? No. How do you do this? Oh, I have to get the script. There we go. Now I can do get global name that is empty. Theoretically, that should work. Get script gives me a script. Script got a name. Name returns me that. Script name is empty. So cool. So if there's a warnings, or sorry, if the script, this script, does not have a class name and it is empty, then we can now go all graph nodes, or sorry, all base graph nodes must have a class name to be able to save/load the graph. So now if we save that, save all of this, and this, and if we were to go reload save, why is it not showing it? Oh, because there is a class name here. That's fine. Hello, Scam. How are you doing? But if we were to go to like buffer, there's no class name. Why are you not yelling at me? Oh, because it's not a tool. It should be loading a tool. Why is it not a tool? Because you're not a tool. You're a tool now. Now you're a tool. Now if I reload, or if I save this, and then reload the save screen, there we go. So now, anytime I make a node, it will tell me, hey, you got to give this a class name for it to be savable. So in this auto tool population, I love this plugin. It was a waste of a weekend. It literally had nothing to do with this project, but this plugin has made, especially adding tool, so easy. So to fix this, we can just go in class name, buffer, graph generation generator. Save this. Reload, and the warning is gone. Yay! I gotta do that to every graph now, or every graph node. And I am getting hiccups. This last 2 days have been hiccups and allergies. The most annoying two things. So we gotta do that to everything. So content, gotta need to have a class name, content, graph generator node. Could I do that? Could I? I bet I could do that to me, but I bet hiccups are unique. Let's look that up. They have to be. Like, it has to go to your vocal cords and everything. Do hiccups. Hiccups. Thank you. Make you grow? What the hell? What the hell? Do hiccups or not all hiccups? No, it's do. Do hiccups have a unique audio sound? No variation. While hic is sound is unmistakable. Its pitch volume can vary based on the force of the diaphragm, constraint, and the suddenness of the vocal cords closing. This is why some hiccups can sound like a squeal, while others can sound like a gasp. So it'd be hard. I'd have to see what a hiccup sounds like on an audio program. Do I have one at the ready? No, I don't have one on this computer. So that's a project for another day. Okay, join. You're going to need a name. Join graph generator node. I mean, it would be interesting. It would be interesting in the sense of like streaming, like having a little counter in the corner of number of hiccups, but it would have to like the thought process I have is let's draw this out real quick. Draw. Or yeah, I'm on this one. Can I make the size bigger? Control Shift to change pens. No, it doesn't look like there's an easy way to make the size bigger. But let's make it orange. Let's make it yellow. There we go. So, let's draw here. So, my thoughts is like a hiccup might have like a profile like that. And like, even if there's like small nuances in like height and stuff, like if I could get the shape and like fuzzy check to go like, hey, let's draw a different one. Let's go back to orange. I could be like, hey, oh my gosh, thank you, Scam. I'm gonna take that you're trying to stop my hiccups. So, if I could get a program that could detect something like this, and this is reasonable to determine hiccup, then I could count that shape. And no matter how high pitch or how low pitch or whatever, it would be in that range of valid shapes. And they actually do this for like heart monitors and stuff. Because like your heart has a typical like beat shape. I don't recall what it is. If I recall right, it's something like this. With me not doing it perfectly. It's something like this. And if I remember, it kind of goes back. A little less sharp. But something like that. And what it does, if I remember right, it's been a while since I've done stuff, is it takes count of this, and this point off of your baseline. So if you suddenly go from baseline to, let's say, +2, then -3, then let's say +5, I know you just had a heartbeat. And I can count that shape. And no matter what your baseline is, like if you're wearing clothes or whatever, or if you have a high heartbeat or whatever, I can take the differences and still determine that you have a heartbeat and you're good. So that's what I would do if I had to measure hiccups. But I'm not going to measure hiccups right now. I'm going to keep coding my program. But yeah, if you're going to do hiccup measurements, that's what I would imagine would be the easiest way to do it without getting physical to the body. Because if you got physical to the body, you could put like a speaker on like the stomach and measure the violence of the shake of the hiccup from the diaphragm. I know that because I did that with a baby kick measurer back in industry. Okay, we're on join. List is already done. Number numbers. And number graph generator node. There we go. The output also needs it, but the output already has it, so we're good. So now the only one left is this one, which is coming right off the thing. Class name static graph node. So now if we save all of that, now all of those should have names. Cool. So that gets me that. Clown syrup. Yep. So now I should be able to do print key. This should get me the relevant class name, which is the class name itself. Then I should be able to do. Right now, I know it's a node here because it's here. So this should get me a list of all the nodes, their associated node type, and their name. Yes. Yeah. So let's try that out. We have the output. I don't care about that. Buffer, content, join, list, number, and static. Save. Do we get names that are appropriate? Output is output. Buffer is buffer. Content is content. Join is join. List is list. Number is number, and static is static. Woo! We got that. Cool. So now back to ChatGPT style, we can do this to create new nodes. So let's do some bad things. Let's do for every child, get the tourist dot get relevant class name of the child, and then that should instantiate new things. Ooh, that's a bug in my plugin. That was not that's expected, but there is no class DB. No. Can instantiate is a class. Get class list. Instantiate. Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. So that instantiates it. We'll call this var x. And then we can do add graph dot add child x. So now when we save, it should create duplicates of every child we add. So we have the output. Let's grab a buffer. Let's grab a static, and let's save. Nope, it gave me errors. class get class output graph node. Can't get class output graph node. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Instance. No, that makes sense. Okay. Because it's not a class yet. It's just a string. But no, create an instance of the class off a class name. Why does that not work? Because output graph is here. Yeah, I have to do new, but let's comment this out. Let's grab this. See if we can create a graph node. Yeah, I created a graph node. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Is that all this? Let's grab that. We hard coded this in. Yeah, I feel not confident that it works with class names. Yeah. That's not working with class names. Okay, let's open up this. Hmm. 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 It's incorrect on the function, but I don't want to do that. It'd be nice if I could just grab it direct like they're showing. Wait, they're not showing that. Fun. Node class node type dot new. Yeah, I don't want that because that's doing the preload. I don't want that. This doesn't work with class names, but default classes only. I don't want to do this. Yeah, this is disgusting. And basically, I go, get me the global class list. If the class name is that, now I loop through this a billion times. No, there has to be a way. Because I have to be able to do something like vol y equals list graph node dot new. That has to be possible. I shouldn't need to load up this every time. I know it's a class. Hmm. Get class? What does get class have? Gets this function's class as a string. No, no. Hmm. Do. Hmm. Returns all available classes. But I think this is going to return it as like a list of strings. Yeah, yeah. So if I did print, this is going to be a massive list. But hmm. But in theory, my graph node stuff should be somewhere in here. No. Interesting. Probably should punch in my card and get back to work on the soundtrack. Good luck. Thank you. Hope you have the best luck as well. Get instance from. Hmm. How do I get an instance of a class from its class name? Hmm. You can do this. Yep. Get script classes. Ooh, what's this? Nothing. Hmm. Hmm. Which I thought it would be nothing because I was like, I'm fairly certain there's no class. Yeah, it just shows unused class. Like, this is what I would be hoping for. Get root, get class name dot new. Okay, so it's saying I can do get root. It's not get root. Is it just root now? Get tree? Get root? Yeah. Or dot root? Yeah, there we go. And it says from here I can do get and give it a property. And then let's do new. See what we get. That's not a good sign. So what it's saying is there's nothing before new. This returns nothing. Oh, come on. Hmm. 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 See, I need create an instance of the class off the string. Hmm. Godot load node from string from class name string. You obtain the path. I mean, I guess I get the path, but use to retrieve all the register paths. So, hmm. Wait, why is there like multiple? Oh, because it's a array of data. Hmm. Sorry. So I'm gonna increase the heat again. 1 second. So I don't like this idea. But it would be fast and somewhat efficient. So, there you go. So let's see if this is true. Does project settings have a get global class list? It does. If I run that, I got a bunch of objects, and they're all my custom class list. Let's see. Let's try and find. There you go. The drawing node. So I have a base, a language, and a path. But I don't have like the root, which is what I was hoping for. But that's fine. That works. Because what I have, and for placeholder right now, we'll have this. Graph node path hash. And what this will be, because I just need the path. Actually, I just need the object. So, instances. Or scripts. Yeah, I just need the scripts. There you go. So what this will be is a dictionary that contains, I guess, a string and a script. So as I am loading, or as I'm saving or loading, I'll be updating this cache. So I will go. First, it has to be a graph node. Then, if, or actually we'll do this. Get ball class name equals we grab our tool, get our class name. Done. Then, if graph node has class name, pull from cache. Hey, Sirlegna! Pull from cache. Else, we're going to need to. I'm doing well, other than allergies. Allergies are killing me. How are you doing? It's been quite some time. Otherwise, load slow, set cache. And what that means is we do what Google told me to do. So, for class data in project settings .get global class list. Oof, yeah, I've been doing them year-long, relatable. But I'm doing well. Nice. Roar is excited for you that you spread the message across 3. Okay, so let's do some things. Okay, so we got the class data. We need to see if this class data is the class we're looking for. This can be optimized a little bit further, but for now, write bad code and we'll fix it later. If it is, I need to add that to my plugin. I did something that I can quality of life later. Sorry, that's not it. It's one. It's complicated. Never mind. I'm not going to quality of life that. Drag and drop. Are you using web or so it's going to be web, but it also is going to have an application. Let me clean up some of these error messages and I'll show you. So we'll pass here, colon, and then we'll pass here, and that'll be fine. So stare new. I am building a random generator, which eventually you'll be able to save graphs, but you're able to build whatever graphs you want. So you could have a list. We'll put it into a buffer. Let me make this big so that I have room. So the list is going to grab this. The list is going to be A, B, or C. The list is going to then open up a file. What file? It's going to be the file that comes off of the list it generated. So A, B, and C are files themselves, A, B, and C. And then it's going to use a new list generator, setting that value to the list content to then be joined up together between, the buffer, which is only A, B, or C, and the content, which is whatever is in there, randomly chosen. And then it's going to use that to join together and output that. There we go. So now when I hit generate, I get C car or B bread. And I can generate like 4 of these. I like new line. I put commas because that's the most likely, but there you go. So A for apple, A for acorn, B for boat, and C for car. I feel like something should already have tried to do this before, but I never have. I don't know. Saint Cyr, a member of the community who is the composer of some of the music in my games, wanted this so that he could have his plugin list here. And then this would be a preset for a given plugin. So then when he generates it, it will be like, oh, plugin C, use the preset computer. I finished a game jam. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, here it is. Let's just dump that into here. Yeah, so here's the game jam entry, but the actual game itself is here. Let me just paste that on both. It's a pretty simple game, but it also takes some time. It has a lot of music, but it's kind of a top-down shooter type game with some roguelike mechanics. I liked it. It gave me a chance to play with gauntlet mechanics, but very loud. But yeah, and you can play it. Arrow keys, and you can move. And the trick about this is it was about loops. So when you go back, the enemy is actually your past self. And then next level, it will be two enemies of both your past selves. So there's one, and then there's the other one. And as you go through the loop, it increases the enemies. It was a good game. I liked it. Community, the game jam, didn't like the game all that much, but they liked the music. Okay. So we got that. Now we can get the script through. Yeah, we can get the script. So let's do that. So vol class script of script type. Sorry. Equals load class data, and then this will be path. So that gets us the script. We know we haven't cached it yet, so we need to do cache. There we go. Congratulations. It feels a bit retro-y, but I like the design of it. Yeah, I mean, over a 4-day period, I quite like it. I don't know if you saw my tower one either. It's been quite some time. I might have a couple of games on there ready for you. I don't know if you saw the 1K game. Yeah, 1K would be the other one. This is a tower climbing game, which I thought about doing it. It's very similar to Peak. It has that same idea. And I still would like to expand it, but time. Let's set it. We need the key to be class name. And the value will be the script. I don't know. I've heard of that one or seen it. I don't know if I've heard of that one. If you've not heard of Peak, I highly recommend it. It's like Extreme or Gold right now. Peak on stream. Yeah, it's like a collaborative climbing game that I think every day it changes the map. Yeah. So highly recommend it. I don't know if you're still streaming or not. It says every day. I imagine, just thinking of how I would program that, is there are like blocks it uses to kind of combine together. I can't imagine they're generating an entire new map every day. Maybe they are. Maybe they have like less programming people and more level design people. But oh yeah, I want to say yeah, new island every day, rotates every 24 hours. Either that or maybe they did a seed for Enviro Collab. It's up to 4 players. So, Siona, you could get into that. Or rather collab with Legna and Serenu. I'm down for that. I'm down for collabs. The only issue is time management. But, okay, so we cached it. That's good. We can clean this up a bit. we can say, hey, there'll be a class script called script. It's going to be somewhere, but right now it's nothing. Then we either set it here, or when we pull from the cache, which will be far faster, it will be as simple as class script equals graph get class name. And I'm curious, I could make that a function. And if I make that a function, then I don't need to worry about any of this. This all becomes irrelevant. That could be fast. Let's do that real quick. Function graph node script cache miss. It needs to take in a class name as a string. And it's going to return a script. Pass. It's not liking that. Return script.new. There we go. So all this code disappears, gets packaged into here. Where are you getting your data from? Oh, it's because they errored out down there. It's not carrying the error. So this should be var. So this is going to be a script. In reality, we then return class script. And if for whatever reason we get here, we should print an error message. Error syntax class name was not found in the global class list. Percent class name. Because if we went through all of this and wasn't able to find the script, I don't know how you get there other than you gave me a class list that were not defined. So now we can make this just this class name. So we're either going to get the class name here, or we're going to get the class name here. This shortens greatly. I mean, this. We don't need any of... Yeah, we don't need any of this. We do need to know what the class name is. And for just clean code, I'm going to keep that separate. So now we do that, we get that. Let's clean this code up a little bit. There we go. Oh, wait, this is a new line. There we go. So we go through our loop of children. If the children's a graph node, and the graph node, or we get the relevant class name, then we get the script either from our cache. Why are you yelling at me? Can I return null and be happy? Okay, cool. So then we either get the script from the cache, or we did a miss and we get the script from the miss. And that should be good enough to do that. So now we're here. We know we have a script. So now I should be able to do just var, or actually I should just be able to do graph.addChild, and then class script dot new, and that will get me a new script of anything I created. So if I play that, we're going to have our output, we're going to have our buffer, we're going to have our static, and if I hit save, I got things, but they're not the right things. I'm fairly certain. Let's check. Can I just click it and be happy? No, it was not happy, but close enough. What are you? Okay, let's do this again. Let me go into the game and set it to... There's a way to make it where it's always on top. Do. Maybe it's display always on top. I thought it was in here. I mean, I guess I could just not have it as a floating. So it plays in here. There we go. It's small. Let's see what Sarah said. Failing to the Doom ward might be interesting. I don't know what that means. Is that a game? So we got buffer and we got the static. And when I save, I get 3 elements here, but these 3 elements aren't these 3 elements. So if I click here, this is there. So this one, what are you? That's the path to the node. What's the path to your script? You're an output. You're an output script. You're not an output node. That's the issue. Because these are not the most correct. Because I don't care about that. I care about the node itself. So much work for nothing. Because I don't care about the script. I want the scene the script is associated to it. Because I don't care about this. I want this. And this isn't this. Cool. That was a lot of work for nothing. Cool. Lovely. Bye-bye. I don't care about the script. Oh, correction. I care about a little bit of this script. I care about the class. Not class. Sorry, child. If I asked to print the scene path, is that all I needed to do? Oh wait, I'm not input. There you go. That might have been all I needed to do. Because now if I do, what would that be? It's not perfect. It's a lot of loading, which I could use the cache for. So the cache code might come back, but for simplicity, I should be able to now do graph.add child.load child.scene file path dot new. Maybe I don't even need do. Yeah, it doesn't like that. It needs to be a node. Oh, it's dot instantiate. Child dot instantiate. No. Child dot duplicate var x equals child x dot x is a node. X dot instantiate. How do I instantiate a node? Back to Google. I just can't remember everything. Godot instantiate a node. I load it. It is dot instantiate. It just, for whatever reason, didn't want me to do that. There we go. So now, we expand this and grab a couple of things. And then I hit save. I get into an error. No. What do you mean, no? Oh, I'm an idiot. We need to check to see. There's a little bit more to this for loop I needed to copy. I need to make sure it's a graph. There we go. Now it should be good. So grab that, grab a content, sure. Grab a static. Cool. Save. Look at that, guys! We duplicated everything! Yay! Ah. That's stupid that it took me that long. But we can cache this. Because this instantiate only needs to be done if we aren't doing that. So let's create that quick cache again. So we'll do vol graph node instances instant cache. Again, it's going to be a dictionary. Oh yeah, I need to do colon. It's going to be a dictionary. Going to take in a string. It's going to give me really a node back. I don't care about anything beyond that. It's not the best, but it will package everything I need. It will initialize like that. So now, like we were doing before, we can just do graph node instant cache get, and then we either do child.scene path or we instantiate it. And this will be var new graph node equals this. We do have to do we need to do that. That needs to be a little bit more than this, because we need to have a function graph node instance hash miss, which I might make a cache type where it just takes in, when you create it, you give it a type, and like the cache type and the type, and then it will do this behind the scenes. That might be what I do tonight or so. Talking about that, it's already 8:22, so I'm gonna end up the stream here. Let's see what we're gonna rate out to. Let's rate out to Chib. She was doing Marvel's stuff, so we're gonna go there. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you. I hope you have a good rest of the day, Sirlegna, as well. And hit me up if you ever want to talk or anything. It's been a while. So with that, let's raid out. There's the raid. And I hope you all have a great day. Plans. If you haven't, hit the like button on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, you might be able to cheer soon. I've been racking that thought in my head about finally filling out the affiliate form. So that might actually be coming up soon. With that, Saturday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or Eastern Time, whatever that time zone is. Me and the Black and One are going to be doing Jackbox games, and I hope to see you there. Be super fun. You can join us. If you're watching and you haven't followed on Twitch, hit the little follow button. Super easy. YouTube, on the other hand, a little bit more complicated. You have to hit the subscribe button. Does very little. But it opens up the bell icon. You want to click the bell icon and make sure you have notifications on, or else I don't know why you subscribe. I don't know what YouTube uses subscriptions for. But the bell will actually tell you when I'm going live. So that's what you should do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, guys.
1.